Look across the web right now and you'll start noticing a pattern with a lot of AI generated websites. They look quite similar, like cousins, distant cousins. And you know the layout. There's a center headline, there's a primary button, there's like 3 neat feature cards with rounded icons, there's a sleek dark mode footer, and designers call this the AI sea of sameness because generative AI models are trained on vast web datasets. Their default starting point is essentially the statistical average of existing design trends. So if you give an AI an under specified or like a simple prompt, it hands you back a safe generic layout. And for the past couple of years, AI tools have focused on helping anyone write code through simple chat interfaces, which is awesome, by the way. But functionally sound code paired with uninspired design leaves software feeling incomplete. This is where Replit design enters the picture. I've been playing around with it. So Replit's idea isn't just to generate interfaces on command, but to merge visual exploration and live software execution into a single workspace. Let's break down how this Spatial creative suite actually works and how it bridges the gap for both the designers and non-designers like myself, and how you can get the best performance out of it. To understand why this approach is interesting, let's look at how software is traditionally built. Usually you sketch wireframes in a visual editor, you hand them off to a developer, and you hope that the final code captures the original aesthetic. Replit design aims to eliminate that handoff by bringing visual design directly into the live cloud runtime environment. So instead of interacting solely through like a text chat, you enter a spatial infinite canvas, and you are not just restricted to starting from scratch with a prompt. You can actually launch a project through 5 different channels, if you will. So the first one is the conversational text prompt. So basically you're describing the concept that you have in mind. The second one is importing an existing frame. Let's say if you're using Figma, so you can import it directly from there. The third way is by bringing in a Claude artifact, and you can also reconstruct a live website from a URL, for example. Or if you have a screenshot and you want it to be like, hey, I want a website like this, you can do that. Or you can start from curated templates or like community inspiration sources like Mobbin. Behind the scenes, the environment routes tasks across the leading models. So there's the Google Gemini 3, Claude 3.5 Sonnet, GPT-5, so on and so forth. So selecting the right engine depending on whether you're generating layouts, whether you're refining code structure, or you're creating visual assets. When you ask the platform to generate an interface, it does not just limit you to a single preview window. It generates multiple visual directions side by side using structured containers called frames. So you have design frames for static and interactive mockups. You have artifact frames for live running application code, and you have media frames for images or vector graphics. If you like a specific direction, ambient suggestions appear right next to your selected frame, letting you explore layout variations with a single click while keeping your previous drafts intact. One of the biggest hurdles in AI generation is brand consistency, so preventing the model from shifting fonts, colors, and button styles randomly across different screens. Replit addresses this with an automated design token system built around design.md configuration file. So the system extracts your typography scales, your color palettes, your border radius, your component spacing variables and whatnot. And whenever you generate new scenes or you expand your application, the AI agent references this design.md file to ensure that every new layout that it's creating stays aligned with your brand guidelines. Getting a fast initial draft from AI is quite satisfying, don't get me wrong, but refining the small details is where real product development happens, because if you're only doing like prompt only interfaces, changing a simple text string or like tweaking some button padding requires typing another message to the AI, waiting for it to regenerate, and then consumes like compute tokens for even some minor CSS adjustments. You spend a lot of money. Replit design introduces 2 specific mechanics to make this process smoother: the visual editor and the draw tool. So the visual editor basically gives you direct point and click control over elements on the canvas. You can basically click on the text headers, buttons, or container boxes to adjust colors, change typography, tweak spacing, or just swap images. The practical advantage here is efficiency. So direct edits made with the visual editor update the underlying source code immediately without using AI credits. So when you want the AI agent to handle structural or complex changes, you can switch to the draw tool, and you can like draw arrows and circle layout areas, and you can leave like sticky notes directly on the board. and the vision model interprets your hand-drawn annotations as your contextual input, allowing you to point visually at what needs changing rather than attempting to describe spatial layouts using text alone. To get the best experience out of Replit design, it helps to understand how the structure, your workflow efficiently as your project grows. So when you're ready to, let's say, graduate a visual mockup into a full-scale application, you can just click build this design, and the Replit agent sets up your application code, your component structures, server logic, databases, whatever. And for landing pages, interactive prototypes, portfolios, and standard web tools, this transition is absolutely quite fluid, I would say. So if you are building applications that require some deep relational databases, for example, custom state management, multi-step API workflows, the cleanest approach is a collaborative one. So let the AI handle the visual layout, routing, scaffolding, and the UI states, while you review and guide the custom backend logic. So it's also smart to be deliberate with your workspace habits. You can use credit-free tools like the visual editor for fine-tuning text, margins, and styles, and you can save credit consuming AI agent requests for more broad structure iterations like multi-frame exploration or complex asset generation. So this approach keeps your iteration speed high while keeping your resource usage predictable, and you're not spending as much in tokens. So what does Replit design mean for the broader creative workflow? If you're not a traditional designer like me, it provides incredible leverage. It removes the intimidation of a blank code editor and gives you structured visual environment to bring concepts to life quickly without needing separate tools for prototyping, hosting, and database setup. And if you're a professional designer, it serves as a powerful, rapid prototyping sandbox. So you can basically import design tokens directly from Figma, test interactive concepts on a live canvas in a few minutes, and hand off functional app-ready specs instead of static image exports. And at the end of the day, AI tools are amplifiers of human intent. So Replit design doesn't just, I would say it doesn't replace the need for a clear product vision or good aesthetic choices, but by updating and by uniting the visual canvas editing with live code execution in the cloud, it makes the journey from an initial idea to a deployed web application much faster and more cohesive than ever before. Thanks a lot for watching. I would recommend playing around with it. You can sign up on replit.com or just check out the links in the description below. And if you have any questions or thoughts, let me know in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.